What's going on, everybody? Seth here with Only Kinda Everything, and today we are going to talk about Monday Night Raw, as well as some other things going on in the world of professional wrestling. We're going to get right into it. I know you guys don't like long intros. So, last night on Monday Night Raw, we had the return of a former WWE champion, Jinder Mahal. Now, admittedly, I think everybody... It was a two side of the coin piece. On one side, everybody expected who we did get, The Rock. Everybody expected it to be somebody big, a big deal. It was, even in the arena, at me at home, I'm assuming you at home as well, we watched it, Jinder came out, and you're like, Vince is back. But it did lead to a great pop, kind of honestly, with all the, America this, America that, the anti-American shtick that they had Jinder doing. I kind of thought maybe we were going to swerve for either Kurt Angle or some kind of Hulk Hogan, real American garbage thing. But I think the real talking point really does come down to the returning Rock kind of insinuated a big challenge to the head of the table, Roman Reigns. Man, if I'm going to fantasy book that, ideally you want it at WrestleMania, but do you potentially knock Cody out of contention of the world title? I don't. I really think one of two things is going to happen with Roman Reigns. And I think hopefully either myself and Ricky, or maybe I can get Zodiac on. And I'm going to talk about the big episode with Zodiac here in a little bit. But hopefully you have one of two options. Either the ideal situation, Cody beats Roman and he finishes the story. He gets the belt his dad never held. It's the feel-good moment of the year for WWE that I don't think they'll top. Could you maybe put it up there with that same level of feel-good moment as Mick Foley winning the WWF title? Maybe. It's possible. But the other route is that Roman retains at WrestleMania, and he goes on to, I believe, around SummerSlam to smash into the number 3, I think it's third spot in the longest title reigns ever. Both are equally possible by the time you get to WrestleMania. It's just a matter of what WWE wants to do. I personally think the issue with Rock Roman is everybody wants to be able to suspend that belief, and they want to say, Rock is going to win. Rock is going to win. I don't think Rock is going to beat Roman Reigns. I think Rock is going to come back, and it's going to be another feather in the cap for the tribal chief. It doesn't matter when that happens. But if you want people to suspend their disbelief, you've got to do it at a Big Four. Royal Rumble's right around the corner. I know they're not able to do that, the Royal Rumble. So the next most likely event that they could theoretically do Rock versus Roman that's not WrestleMania is Elimination Chamber. Man, Triple H is doing a good job at making these, B or C level pay-per-views, premium live events, feel like a big deal. So that being said, there's a possibility that they do Roman Rock in Perth. Again, I don't think Roman's going to lose to Rock. I mean, I suppose that could inform a theoretical, the downfall of the tribal chief. He couldn't get the job done with Roman, and now suddenly, was he really the head of the table? And it kind of everything unravels, and it ends with Cody being able to topple him at Mania. Yeah, that's a possibility. It's an interesting possibility. It's not... Again, that's not the way I would go, I think Cody being the one to pin and beat Roman, all one time, first singles loss since 2019. I would give it to Cody. That's the rub he needs. Rock does not need any kind of rub on that. Rock is made, you know? When you talk about the most over guys in WWE right now, you're talking LA Knight, who is, really, really over. I don't know if I'd say he's as hot as the next guy, Cody Rhodes, so I'd say as hot as the surface of the sun. You have CM Punk, like him or not, he's one of the most over guys in WWE right now. And you've got The Rock, who's just literally The Rock. He's, if you want, he's as hot as the surface of the sun. He's like, he's the sun, It's so interesting. Credit to What Culture for this remark, but it is true. Rock comes out and does the same stuff he's done for the last 20 years. I'm going to, laugh and pop every single time, but it's stupid stuff. He hasn't evolved much, but he doesn't need to. He's The Rock. He only wrestled full time for like 7 years, and he's still one of the biggest stars the industry has ever had. So, man, I had a lot to say about Rock. I didn't mean to go on this long. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Hit us up on the Facebook or the Twitter, X. God, I'm getting everything wrong today. Who do you think is going to be the one to pin Roman? Will it be Rock at maybe Perth? Will Rock hit WrestleMania and Cody get bumped? And more importantly, where do you place Cody? If you do Rock and Roman at Mania, where do you do Cody Rhodes? Let me know what your thoughts are on that. Next, I'm going to go straight in, and we're going to talk about MJF. Now, I know I'm the WWE guy. It's not common for me to, without Ricky, talk about AEW a whole lot. But I do want to kind of talk about MJF and what's been going on with him. So, his most recent title defense, he lost to Samoa Joe. The big reveal of the devil being Adam Cole, baby. Man, it's kind of... Adam Cole was the guy you knew it was going to be. You kind of wanted it to be somebody else, maybe. I thought Jack Perry would have been interesting as a choice for the devil, but all the signs realistically pointed to saying, yeah, no, it's going to be Adam Cole. The reveal is exactly kind of who we all thought it was going to be. So that takes us to MJF. Now, AEW has pulled him from their roster page. I think this is some great storytelling. I don't think MJF has left AEW. I think he's taking some time off, much needed. He's one of those guys that has done really, really well over the last 12 months. And he's, I'm going to say he's probably been working hurt. He said he's worked hurt, and, we're going to take that at face value. We're not going to accuse guys of saying that they're working hurt just to get over. So I think MJF's just going to take a couple months off. I think the payoff of the devil coming out and MJF just leaving is shallow. I truly think that MJF is going to take a couple months off, maybe be back in, maybe March, April-ish, and then he's going to feud with Adam Cole and that group. Maybe it'll be sooner, but I do think he's going to kind of run through that group and eventually fight his way back to at least challenging. I don't know if he'll win it again, but he's at least going to challenge for the AEW World Title. Now, who he challenges, honestly, I could see it being Swerve Strickland. I don't know that I see Joe as a long-term champion. Not that he doesn't deserve it, but Joe is kind of one of those made men in professional wrestling. You give him a title because it's Samoa Joe. Why would you not give Samoa Joe a title? But I think Joe is just a guy to get it off MJF and to give it to somebody else. I don't really like transitional champions, and to their credit, AEW doesn't really do transitional champions. Save the whole what happened with CM Punk and all that. We're kind of hot potato for a minute there. I really think Joe is going to drop it to probably Swerve Strickland. That'll give Swerve, he's over like Rover. He is hot as the sun in AEW right now. And, you know, the thing about professional wrestling is I think as a long-term WWE fan, and I think a lot of old school WWE fans will say the same, there's this problem where a guy gets over and we're just accustomed to going, well, he's over, but he's not going to get anything. That was the way Vince ran. If he didn't want you to get over and you got over, you just kind of got buried. You know, very rarely did somebody get over and really get rewarded for it. So I could see Swerve getting that reward, getting that world title. And then, you know, I could see MJF versus Swerve Strickland later in the year. I don't think it would be soon. Maybe August would be a good time to do Swerve Strickland versus MJF, depending on how quick MJF runs through the devil and all that stuff. I think the biggest two matches out of that is going to be MJF Wardlow and obviously MJF versus Adam Cole. And another question is, does MJF come back as a heel or a face? You know, he's clearly good at both. I've preferred the face run a little bit more just because as a heel, he did a lot of referencing the other company, the other guys. I get it. It works, but to me, it felt like kind of a shallow way to try and get a reaction. You know, cheap heat, cheap pop. It was cool the first couple times he did it, but it just got to a point where it was like, okay, yeah, bidding war 2024, blah, blah, blah. But hey, you know, maybe it's not a work. Maybe MJF is going to be a free agent now, I guess, theoretically. You know, just January 1st was supposedly that date. I don't think that's the case. I really think he'll be back in a couple months. Next thing we're going to get into super quick, and it's very late, but I'm gonna throw some thoughts onto Grand Theft Auto 6. I know it's well late. I don't know if you've seen the Facebook post. Ricky and I kind of alluded to it in some other videos. We've both, you know, at separate times have both been under the weather pretty much all of December, so nothing got done. So, Grand Theft Auto 6. Trailer dropped, and I was kind of a fan, kind of not. It reminded me of the Saints Row trailer, and kind of that, where parts of it look absolutely fantastic. You're like, okay, this is definitely great, next generation, super excited. And there's parts of it I'm like, this looks like a shinier version of what I already have in Grand Theft Auto 5. You know, it's still a 2025 title, so we still have a year minimum. If it comes out January 1st of 2025, we have basically a year. And it will probably not be January 1st. It'll probably be a April, May title, maybe even a holiday title. So we've got a lot of time for them to either A, push it back again, and, you know, I don't say A, B, you know, it could get pushed back. But for me, it's harder to get excited about something when, you know, it's so far out, so we don't know if something's going to get pushed back. And B, and potentially even bigger, we don't know how this game is going to get priced. There's been a lot of talk leading into, you know, this reveal and everything that, you know, maybe games should be priced with how, you know, based on how long it takes to make the game. Grand Theft Auto Online's whole subscription-based model. That could be something that they look at for Grand Theft Auto 6. Rockstar makes a bunch of money off GTA Online. It's a cash cow, and you'd be foolish to say otherwise. So it'll be interesting for me as a consumer to look and see how they're going to make this a marketable piece. Are they going to stick with, you know, what's kind of become the industry norm of that, you know, $70 game? Are they going to potentially experiment with some kind of new price point? Man, I don't want to ramble about it, but it's going to be a big deal for the gaming industry as a whole, because Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto are such a big deal. If they go out and do their own thing, man, it's gonna create waves for what the industry does. If they do a subscription-based model, I could see games and companies like Activision, Microsoft, Blizzard for Call of Duty, I could see them going, oh, subscription-based models. But yeah. Next one I want to get into super quick, because I've been rambling long enough. We talked about it briefly at the end of the awards video. We do have a video set with Zodiac, professional wrestler, great dude, awesome time with him. I don't necessarily know if I call it a full interview, because there wasn't a lot of questions, it was more just a lot of bantering between me and Zodiac. Ricky had some issues, so he wasn't along. He was there, but didn't do a lot of talking. So hopefully you guys like the sound of my voice. That's still coming, but as is with everything, it seems some difficulties have come up, and that video it's raw. It's not edited, and it's also not with Ricky. He's doing some work out of state and doesn't have the ability to edit everything. So as quickly as we can get that video up, we are going to, because let me tell you, I figured we were going to do maybe 30, 45 minutes, and we ended up doing over an hour with Zodiac. It was great. Can't wait to talk to him again and do it again. But yeah, so there's that little issue there. But guys, I've talked long enough. Thank you for tuning in. We've got some interesting plans set up for 2024. Again, we kind of talked about them at the end of the awards video. My hope is this year we're going to have some more uploads for you guys. We're going to be doing food reviews coming up, local restaurants, cuisines, stuff to that nature, and more content for wrestling, more content for gaming. But guys, thank you so much. Again, a little late, but Happy New Year. And I look forward to seeing everybody in the next video. Bye!